As explained in our previous episode, I employed my refined artistic prowess to dazzle Julie before we ever met. This week we share how our relationship began as friends. So join us for Love Ed with Julie and MJ as we go where most men fear to trod, the formidable realm of the friend zone.
And we hope this week's episode will encourage you not to be afraid, have friend zone phobia.
Phrenzonephobia. You would think that our romance would have come into this amazing whirlwind romance upon first meeting, but in fact we actually met, and then we didn't actually go on our first date till our second semester of our freshman year at Baylor, and then we didn't actually date seriously until 2 years later.
Right. Well, some of that might have to do with what we did on our first date.
Well, yes, I remember now. I know how to woo a lady. I know that she would want to go to a romantic movie. And so I thought maybe I would take her to, I don't know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, dude! Cowabunga!
A true chick flick, right? Yeah. Well, we did have a great time on that first date, and it did lead to us getting to know each other better and developing a great friendship. But really, at
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles did that. No.
The date did, but the time together. But we ended up pursuing other romantic relationships with other people, both of us.
Well, not exactly. I pursued romantic relationships with other people. She actually got into them.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Until, of course, she's ready to break up with a guy, and then that's why she earned the title in our apartment as the Love Master.
Yeah, well, that's not a title that I'm proud of, but at that time, I really did want to be in charge of my own love life and not submit that to the Lord.
Well, I mean, meanwhile, I was trying to control my own love life by following God's rules. Because, you know, God's rules are there so that you can get what you want. Wait a second. No, we follow God's rules so we can get closer to God. Yeah, I got that mixed up. So while we were trying to control our own love lives, God enabled us to get to know one another completely and entirely in the aforementioned friend zone.
Yeah. It wasn't until our junior year, really, that we started kind of looking at each other as potential people to date.
Meanwhile, I must confess, first semester of my junior year, I was also interested in this other girl. We'll call her Gertrude.
Yeah.
That blew up in my face in a real painful way. I thought this can't be happening again. And in fact, when I look back on how I proceeded to try to engage in Romanian relationships.
I don't think there are any Romanians at school.
I don't think they were, but and if there were, we're sorry, we forgot you. But I basically ensured this little destruction every time because I heard that it's really great when a friendship blossoms into romance, and that's true, and we encourage that. But what we don't encourage is what I did, which is then try to find a girl that I wanted to be my girlfriend, pretend to be just her friend, with the full knowledge that in 2 months or 2 weeks or 2 days,
He wasn't that bad.
we'll try to throw it into the romance I always knew and wanted it to be. And now I realize that that was actually deceitful. I didn't really think of it that way. I thought of it as good, crafty. But yeah, girls didn't like it, and so it didn't work.
Crafty. Well, for the most part, I was looking for a Christian guy that I thought was good looking, and he thought I was cute. Good looking, you said it for a girl. Anyways, and then we would date. Hey, we both like each other, so let's go.
So after being rejected by Gertrude, I'm thinking, I'm not going to let this happen again in the same semester. So that same first semester, our junior year, I initiated the DTR talk with Julie. I'm like, we have been such great friends. Let's not mess that up.
They might not know what a DTR talk is.
DTR talk defined the relationship. And so I said, let's just say we're going to be friends. That's what we are, the end. I was so set free of all that little romantic chemistry that was kind of sort of coming and then kind of going, and then you nervous and then anxious and then excited, and then that all went away. I was so free from those feelings for her that we continued to be friends. In fact, she called me one night and she was crying, really upset about some stuff that was going on with her dad, which we've talked about in previous episodes before. And I went over to her apartment. We went for a walk, and as we were talking, I realized this girl's not so upset about how her earthly fatherly relationship is going. What she's really upset about is she's trying to find out what God is doing in all of this. And I thought, that's what I want in my wife, a woman that's just like, oh, she wants to know God and His will so badly. And I thought, the woman God has for me is going to be even more amazing than this.
Yep. Little did he know that was as amazing as it was going to get for him.
Yeah. And it was amazing enough.
Yeah. Well, at the same time, I remember having a conversation with a friend of mine and just saying, you know, I don't think I'm going to marry anyone here that I've met on campus unless it's Michael Johnson. And that wasn't a real mushy-gushy kind of feeling thing to say. It was more just factual, you know, looking at the relationships that I had and the character of the people that I got along with, the guys I was friends with. And Mike was the only one.
So, regardless of whether my DTR talk was God ordained, God told me that we're just going to be friends. Or not, it became a pivotal moment in our relationship life because it enabled me to come to a place of no longer seeing Julie as a potential dating prospect to evaluate or a prize to win or prey to capture, which I know if you're a female watching this, you're like, did he just say prey to capture?
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I mean, we don't think this in the forefront of our mind, but in the back of our mind, it's kind of there.
Yep.
But all of that was gone. It was like seeing you completely in the friend zone is what enabled me to actually truly see you.
Yep. But we didn't stay friends forever.
Indeed, we did not. In fact, I don't honestly know where I'd be if not for the next part of our story.
I don't know either.
Where I'd be?
Yeah.
On the streets.
But we'll be talking about that next week on Love Ed with Julie and MJ.